Can
Oh
I?
yeah, I did this thing.
I can zoom in, but do I want to? I don't think I do because I'm gonna be switching from a billion tabs. Okay. Yeah.
That's.
Wow.
You're getting emails, basically?
No, it's the instant message, the chat.
No electronics allowed. Turn off your electronics. Alright.
I should stop. I was sitting next to LST.
Should we start?
I was gonna say I should stop.
Alright, whenever you're ready.
Yeah. Well, I'm ready. Are they ready?
Are you ready?
I am ready. Okay.
My body is ready.
So now, I don't even to say. So the main thing is, has everybody checked out the new blog article on advices on Game Jam, how to survive, basically? Yes, no, yes? No. So, wait, who has checked? Well, who's going to a Game Jam, first of all? Are we all?
Yes.
Who's actually participating in that?
You're an officer though.
Oh, you don't know where it is yet?
Participating, but not
It's only me and
It's my
Zooming.
first
that
meeting I've got to. I don't know anything.
Oh, well, I thought I did mention them in an email, but you know where this is, right? The club page, or no? Do you know our Facebook page?
I joined yesterday.
You
Why
joined
don't you
yesterday.
just tell
Okay.
them the address for the page?
GameDev.blogspot.com.
Wait, is there actually a portal to our club page?
If you go to our
I'm working on a QR code that looks like Tetris block. So far, it's
Oh,
not
jeez.
working.
Turn
Have
that
you
on.
seen the one that I made?
What, the ones with like
Let's
Mega Man
see
crap?
about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll show them.
Hey, club website's right there.
Well, no, I'm working on one that like. It
I
looks
put
like
down
it's
the
made up of
outreach.
Tetris blocks, but it isn't
More
working
website exposure.
because-
Now we get money to do it
Money for what?
though. Funding to advertise.
Oh, I didn't request funding for like internet advertising.
Well, okay.
Do you need funding for internet advertising?
If you want to buy ad space, you would.
Okay, well let me go back
I
to a
quit.
game jam.
5 months.
Let me go back to a game jam. So, for those who are participating in a game jam, just Friday to Sunday, turn this off. Here's an article on the basic timeline, and this is really basic, but there's no Saturday because Saturday you'll basically be developing the entire time.
So first of all, it starts at 6, not at 5.
Yeah, due to a schedule conflict, the game jam now starts at 6. Make sure you take note of
The
that.
clock starts at 7, not at 6.
Okay. That's it. I'm so sorry.
Get
I
there
know
at
get here
6.
early, but I mean.
Alright, and I wrote some advices about team size, scheduling, and stuff like that. And
So if you want to bring in your computer, like a desktop computer or anything, you can bring it in at any time before 5:30
after 12 is what I said.
or after
Just
12, really?
Yeah, after 12,
Okay.
before 5:30.
Before 5:30, because there's an event in this room at 5:30 to 6:30. No.
No, it's 4:30 to
4:30 to
5:30.
5:30. Okay. So if you're gonna bring anything to this room, it'll be secure because this is a pretty secure room. Bring it before 4:30 because there's an engineering week event in here.
Yeah. So, just any questions about the game jam in general, since I don't know how many people have read this article and people may still have questions. Yes?
Are we gonna have food at 6?
3 people.
Probably
voted
not.
early.
Last
mean
time-
probably
last
not.
time I checked it, there were 4 votes and 3 of them were for 6.
Really?
But one person voted twice.
Is that
There was
you?
a checkbox option, not a radio button option. So you could select multiple votes.
Yeah. I mean, if you're
I think
fine
I'm
with
that
like
person
2
that
of the
voted
times, then you can just vote for 2 of the times.
So it was
That was
basically
intentional.
3 votes for 6, 1 vote for 7, 1 vote for 8.
Okay. So probably 6 then, since everybody wants food earlier.
I voted for 6.
Although they're probably gonna get hungry. Well, maybe not. If you sleep early, you won't be hungry. But yeah, any more questions? Yes, no?
What
Be quiet, Harvey. I'm gonna like mute you or something.
Are these chats or?
It's
chat.
Disable.
It's
I
Gmail
checked the top.
Disable. Ha! That didn't do anything.
You could just disable the plugin.
Okay.
Just ignore Harvey outright. Turn on manage.
Wait. So the people who raise their hand are interested in are for sure going to the game jam, right? Is anyone interested in going to the game jam?
What is it?
Okay.
Jam with games.
Game Jam is a game development marathon. The usual format is 48 hours, but it goes probably from 12 hours to 72 hours, and like some places, I know Oya did a 10-day Game Jam. And basically for that entire time period, you're developing a game based on from scratch, or I mean you can use like other frameworks to develop, but there's usually going to be constraints.
not the
announced.
framework.
No, not the framework scratch. Just like, as in, you start out with nothing and you build from that.
You can start out with something, but
Oh,
the
certainly
constraints
not.
make sure you don't make sure that you don't have
A full game before.
a full game beforehand. Yeah. So usually the constraints are themes, and other times it's still themes, but there's consoles. I mean, the console itself is probably enough of a constraint to stop people from developing way too early. So that's the basic gist of it. Game Dev Club's Game Jam will be, as I said, from February 22nd to the 24th. It will be a 36-hour Game Jam. The timer will start at 7, but we want people to get here around 6 on Friday. And the timer will end at 7 a.m. on Sunday, where we'll vote for the best game developed during the jam. We're not sure if there's going to be prizes for the first few places, for the first 2 places. And
More food.
more food. Yeah, we're gonna provide breakfast at the end in addition to serving food throughout the entire game jam.
But only
so
if you win do you get breakfast.
Breakfast of champions.
Yeah, literally.
And I don't know if you mentioned it, but we also form small teams at the event, so it's not just one person developing.
Okay.
You get,
I
like, a
think I
couple
get
people.
it. Wix is doing something similar.
Yeah, the Apathon.
Yeah.
But Apathon you can
Almost
form
landed
teams
on the
before
same
you
weekend.
come, but
Almost.
in a game jam you can still do it, but it's recommended that you form team after you come because it's as much a social event, I think, as it is oriented on game development. So that's the basics. Any other questions? Maybe?
So
Okay.
how will we decide a winner?
Voting.
Everyone
Uh,
votes?
Yeah, everyone who participates gets
So
2 votes.
are you allowed to vote for yourself?
No, you can't vote for yourself.
I like the idea of not voting for yourself.
You
Yeah.
can't vote for
Okay, you
yourself.
can't vote for yourself, sure.
Otherwise,
How many
everyone
votes
would
do you
just
get?
vote for themselves.
You get 2 votes.
And
Well,
then
if
everyone
you
votes
get
for
multiple
yourself.
votes,
Wait,
well, you
but-
can't vote for the same game multiple times. That should be like given, but
And you're so hard.
But what
yeah,
if not
everybody
many
gets
people
2 or
show
3
up?
votes. If not enough people show up,
Yeah.
I don't think that's gonna be a problem
we have
because
around 18 people.
17 to
RSVP.
18
Okay.
are RSVPs, so
That's it.
yeah, that's enough.
Yeah.
So yeah, as I said, you also get free food throughout the entire time. So even if you're, I guess, I don't really know how I want to say that. Don't come here just for free food, but
Okay, that sounds
even if
We
you're
will be
remotely
making
interested, free
routine
food
checks
is awesome.
to make sure you are working on something. We will keep you if you are not.
Well, you can take breaks and stuff. It's completely fine. One thing definitely to note is that the engineering building will be locked during, well, you'll be locked from the inside, so you can still open it from the inside, but you'll be locked during the weekend, and that's just a security procedure we have to
Do
follow.
you have the room phone number
So, yes, I have the room phone number, and
Call one
it's
of you guys.
the
Hey,
phone
let me-
is right there, right?
No,
No.
that is the phone number for.
on? No, the phone is there.
Oh, the phone is there. I think you were pointing at the phone number on the
No,
board. No,
the
that
phone
is
is right
not
there.
The phone number. That is the phone number to the I.
But the phone number
text board.
is right here on the first timeline
It's on
of
the
Ice
phone.
Post. Yeah, I should probably bold font this. But if you're participating, make sure you have those numbers so you're not locked outside. And anything else you can just read on your own. And if you have any questions, you can email me, and you can probably find my email or Facebook anyway. Okay. So, any more questions, or can you get to development tools?
The first hour will be setting up teams.
The first hour will just be socializing. You can set up team before or after. I think it'll be cooler if you set up teams after, but we're not going to enforce anything. But once you know what the game is likely going to be, that's a better time for you to set up a team rather than just joining up with like cool people but making a game that you don't like.
Have you decided on a team?
Yes.
Yes, you decide on the team,
Cool.
and that'll be announced during Game Jam.
Not now.
Not now. Harry was going to put it on Facebook, but like, no.
No, I was gonna say we have decided on it.
Yeah. Well, you. Oh,
You can
well,
make
yeah, we have
decisions
decided on a
in
theme. We will not tell you when we decide on a theme.
What if someone like kidnaps you and tortures you to tell you?
I would tell
Yeah.
them the theme. You know, if they wanted to know that bad.
Yeah. I will tell them the theme
That's what
immediately if they really want to know.
Then when the game jam starts, it's a different theme.
Yeah.
Theme number 2 is
Okay, so part 2 of the meeting is some rapid development tools that you're going to need. And I mean, 36 hours is not a long time to make a game. So you definitely want to come equipped with some tools that you know how to use or have basic familiarity beforehand. So last meeting, some of you aren't here, but we have a bunch of resources on the board that people recommended and looked into them. And basically each of these tabs is one of the tools that was recommended to us, or we recommended to know about during the game jam. So I'm just gonna go through them, and maybe you can find something interesting, not just for making a game for the game jam, but for making games in general. So close this, close Facebook. Yeah. So this is the assembly competition hosted by TickSource forum. TickSource is really big on indie games, and they hold a lot of cool competitions and discussions about indie games. And what the assembly competition is a 2-part competition. The first part, anyone on the forum can make resources, and here are some resources. All of these are from part 1, and it's already complete. You can find images here, and there's lots of images, as you can tell by the scroll bar. And you can find sounds on the side. And all of these are free for you to use on any game, as long as the game is non-commercial. And some of them might require you to mention who made these resources. And I think,
And it's always good to mention who made the resources, even
yeah,
if it is.
even if they don't mind, still mention it, because it's just a
Unless your
courtesy
game
thing.
is really bad and
Yeah. So they have some really cool resources down here.
Those are cool.
Yeah, some of them are like really high quality.
but it is better if you make your own.
I mean, if you have an artist on your team,
Right.
then make your own. But if not, these are really good images to go to. And
During the game jam, will there
help
be
you
like
make
a
the game.
list of all these things that we can just reference?
Sure, I can put it on the club
Yeah.
website. It's no big deal.
Maybe on a board.
No.
So we have to type it in.
No, we wouldn't be that.
But yeah, these are really cool.
What the hell?
Did
I
you
mean-
just say no bone?
I thought that's what it said.
That's what I said, yeah.
That's my life motto. No brain, no pain, no life, no boner.
But yeah, so here's one. And the part two of this competition is where game developers from the forum makes a game based on any of these resources provided in part 1. And that's done too, and they basically release online all the games they made for part 2. So something cool to check out, not specifically for the competition, but okay. this is Incompetech. I don't know how to pronounce this. But here is where you can get a bunch of free music, I believe. And this is donate page, but royalty-free music. It's basically what it says. It's music that you can use as long as it's for non-commercial purposes. Let me try to search something. I hope there's search. Oh, that's email. Do they have a search? Full search.
It'd be even cooler. You could
Robots.
Robot?
record your own music on the spot.
Wow, there's only one. Wanna play it?
Wait, so Ming, do you remember the thing?
Huh?
Tyler, did you say you play guitar?
Yeah.
Are you gonna be doing your
Is it working? Is it not?
Possibly. The thing is, like, recording equipment is usually pretty expensive, and I don't have any except for like a line in into my
Whoa, yeah. Laptop
Well,
mic.
I can use like a line in because I have a converter from like the 1/4-inch cables that guitars use into the like headphone jack or something, no, the mic jack. But
This is really quiet.
That'll be funny if you're carrying your guitar and like, where are you going? I'm going to the game. Like, is that a performance or something?
bring my amp around.
But yeah, I'm not quite sure how much music they have here, but royalty-free music is always good, and
Is it any good though?
this sounds pretty good to me.
And you can use the sound clip
Ooh.
thingies and the sound
Let me
things
turn
that
that
Lydia
off.
talked about last time. Oh god, I wish Dylan was here so I could ask him if we could have
Brandon
that
Chinese.
specific one done, that specific meeting, like
Why is that still
video
playing? Oh,
finished
never mind.
before the
Okay.
game jam, because that would be helpful.
Stop it.
meeting?
The one where you talked about the how to make sound effects for games. Yeah.
Okay, so that's one.
To the camera and tell this.
Hello,
Next
Tim.
one, Mesh Mixer. That's a tool that somebody recommended to me that I haven't really used yet, but it's a 3D, was it modeling tool, I think? Mesh Mixer. I think it's supposed to be free, and they have a demo here, but I haven't checked it out yet.
Just use Maya.
If you have like $1,000 in your pocket, you can use Maya.
Or you cannot use Maya.
Yeah.
Or you can use Blender. It's free.
Use Paint.
I don't really have much experience with 3D, so I didn't try out this program. But if you have, this might be something that's good to look
Anyone
into.
can make a 3D
It's
game
everywhere.
using only Paint. I will give them $1 million
Turn this
Oh, you
off.
better be careful.
at this game jam.
Challenge accepted. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, this is funny form.
No,
Okay, so
strictly
this tool is
vanilla
actually.
Paint.
Shh. This cool. This one is actually pretty cool. It's called Tiled, and open source program. And let's see if I have it on here. Tiled. Yeah. You can import any tile you find online into this, make a map with the editor, and then export the map as an image, along with transparency and other things, I think. So let's see if I have tiled in here.
That's more of an animated experiment. Now it's more of like a.
Let's see. They have some.
Serious casual FPS.
I don't think that's a real Tetris
Dude,
block.
you can buy like.
No,
it's
it's
one
one.
of those like native.
They have some example files,
I'm
and
not
those are
like-
pretty cool.
I know
Let's
people
see.
are really serious about it. I mean, there are people
Isometric grass and water. That's probably my favorite one of these.
But yeah, it's a.
So like, it's not just a flat two-dimensional tile. You can make isometric tiles. And if I click on any of these, I can like fill up my own regions.
Oh.
Except I think this tile is a little bit higher altitude than the other ones, so you have to fill something in front of it. And yeah, that's probably not the best tile to use to demonstrate. Try this.
It's the sprites that
Hmm?
the sprites have an altitude level
There you go.
in the way that they've been drawn.
Yeah.
So it's not the editor that has multiple layers.
No. And then there's other types of tiles. Let's see. you have the perspective walls, which I thought is pretty cool also. With this one, you can build kind of you can build a structure. You can see like this one has like actually 3 levels, even though it's a 2D image. So this will be pretty fun to play around with. And let's see if I can make a new map. New tile set. And I think I found a random tile set. Here's a random tile set. I can specify tile width and tile length for the program to parse the image, but then I click OK. And then, it didn't generate a new one for some reason. Yes. No, I did not make a new one. I'll post these ones.
Whoa. I think the tile set is just the
Oh,
tiles that
for
you can use.
okay.
Yeah.
So I'm supposed to make a new map. New
I kill myself with explosives.
orthogonal.
They shoot up near first before they
Let's
do
make
the
this
damage.
20
Died
by
in
20
midair.
tiles.
They're like a lot of they got blown up by explosives.
Yeah, and now is when you add a new tile set to it. Like this.
Yeah, I know, but we had already lost.
And then you can just select any of these and make a map out of it. I'm not the best at making maps right now. But yeah, the selling point is that you can save this onto an image and then just import it into whatever game creation program you use. So it's really handy for any game creation tool that doesn't come with its own tile functions. And I imagine there's some other uses too. So pretty cool. Discard. Next. Rampy. This is also recommended by someone during the last meeting, and it's a
Renpy or Renkai?
Rampy because it's for Python. PY stands for Python.
Exactly.
So, what is it? Is it a library or framework? Not quite sure, but it's used for mainly for graphic novel creation. And I'm not fluent in Python, so I didn't like try to mess with it or anything. But if you are fluent in Python and you want to make a simple story-based game, then this might be a good direction to start. Next. Graphic scale. This is a pixel creation program. It's probably pixel art creation program. It's probably one of the best free pixel art creators out there. And I think I have that. Yep, I have it down here. I'm also not an artist, so I can't like actually make anything, but
I was looking up
Here's
other
a
ones,
pencil
and
too.
another one came up. It's called like Pixothello or something, and it's like kind of the same thing. It's like pixel
Okay.
art, and you can just make it and import it into your games or whatever.
Also, if you're using Mac, I know there is Pixen, Pixen.
What's the other one? Pixella?
Pixothello, I think.
Oh, found it. So yeah, these ones weren't mentioned in the last meeting, so I didn't look them up.
But that one's really, really good for pixel art.
And it's super simple.
Yeah, but you have to have Mac, which sucks.
And it's good for animating too.
Yeah,
You can
and
get
it
from
works
the App
very
Store.
well with stencil. So
Cool. And this looks pretty cool too. Actually, I think I might have worked with this before. Cool. So, if you're into pixel art, which pixel art is really popular during game jams because it's probably like some of the fastest graphics you can make through pixel art, and the style is usually enjoyed because it feels retro and it's colorful and relatively cheerful compared to like gray 3D
Make sure
games.
all of your artwork is the same resolution. So
That's
you
true.
have a highly detailed picture art in one spot and then a low 8-bit pixel art next
That
to
could
it.
still be cool.
Like that
I don't
pixel chicken.
Alright, next we have Inkscape. This is a, what's it called? A vector art
Yeah,
creation
vector.
program? Yeah.
With Flash.
It just means
Kinda
it's
like
like
Illustrator,
Photoshop.
No, not necessarily.
Oh. Photoshop's a vector, right?
Actually, no.
Photoshop's
Photoshop is
raster.
raster.
Raster, that's right.
You can
Illustrator
do
is
vector stuff, but
Yeah.
Illustrator is mainly vector.
Still waiting for it to come out. But basically, if you don't know what a vector graphics is, it's any image where you can, you're free to enlarge it or like shrink it down without any loss in quality, without any pixelation. So I'm not quite sure how you would use that for games. I guess,
Vector art?
no, use vector art.
There's not a lot of engines that use vector graphics.
Yeah,
because
there are a lot of times when you want something scalable, like if you want a zoom in effect,
Okay.
and you want everything to still look nice.
Okay. Create
You
3D
want like
boxes.
bigger and smaller versions of the same thing.
That's pretty cool. I never
Yeah.
used this before. To make a box. You can change the vanishing point.
Whoa.
That is pretty cool.
What is going on?
What is this?
Huh?
What is this program?
This is the same program.
Inkscape?
Inkscape.
Ah.
Oh, what the heck?
The box is not supposed to go through the vanishing point. I think. Which
What
makes
if
sense.
It does.
If it does, stuff happens. Alright, and you can draw, there's a tool for drawing spirals, which I'm not quite sure how that's really useful, but pretty cool nevertheless. Alright. Close without saving. Next.
Yes, because
I think I think that's the same tab. Never mind. We have Unity, which I think we all know what Unity is.
How long is
Most of
Unity
us
for,
knows what
really?
Unity. Not very long.
I've seen that front page like months ago.
But this is a tool for making 3D games.
I'm not sure
And
as to what is happening.
What is that?
it's probably one of the most popular 3D games creation tool right now. But for free, yeah. I mean, there isn't really that many 3D games tool for free, but
It's free until you make a certain amount of money.
Yeah.
okay.
There's one there.
But for the game jam, if you can use Unity, then that's actually a viable option to try to make a 3D game within that small time frame. Because Unity is a really high quality tool. Blender, this is for 3D art, 3D modeling, and
It's for everything really.
everything 3D.
It's a very ambitious program.
Well, it's
It's-
open source, isn't
Yeah, and it has an animation suite, it has a modeling suite, it has a game engine built into it, it has like image editors built into
You
it.
can do video editing.
Yeah,
Oh, really?
it has video editing, it has audio
Green
editing.
screen.
It-
Compositing.
Yeah, it's kind of
I guess
ridiculous.
that makes sense if it's video game. Probably should have.
But how's the learning curve of this?
yeah, it's pretty bad.
Okay.
If you
So
want to use it, get Tyler on your team.
yeah.
Pretty much, or already learned how to do it, but
Yeah.
I mean,
Look up a ton of tutorials before.
yeah, you do, but that's like with everything 3D, so. And it also depends,
Kind of looks like a spaceship control panel.
yeah.
Oh.
Okay. Spaceship control panel. Yeah, I think I
Yeah,
remember
it's just,
that.
it's really complicated, but when you know how to use it, it's really powerful and pretty easy to use. So,
Cool. That explains that. I don't know how to use this, so this is as far as I can get with this program at the moment. SFXR, that's probably one of my favorite things to use during Game Jam, partly because I don't have much experience with sound creation. What this is it generates 8-bit sound effects, and I spelled this wrong. It's really easy, like you can
Why don't you
generate,
go to the online version.
Yeah, BFX.
well, I like mine. I mean, there is an online version of this, and there's a version for Mac.
You can use both.
You can use both
Why
if you
not
really want
both?
to, but they're basically the same thing. So, basically, you click on any of these or any of these, and it'll generate a random sound that matches the quality you picked. So this is pickup/coin. This is not very loud. So all of these are sound effect you can use for recording, and if you want to tweak anything about the sound, you can just slide any of these bars, which I'm not quite sure which one would be used for demo, but let's say attack time, see what happens.
So
Oh,
most of
that-
the sounds that you make with this
Oh, that
will
sounds really weird.
sound 8-bit.
Yeah,
Maybe
basically
all-
anything you use. Power explosion. I like explosion. Yeah. And you can save any of the sound that you like, export it as wave, change sound settings. Mutate, I think, is just take that sound and randomize it a little bit, so it's not that much different from the sound you want, and maybe Mutate will fine tune it to be something that you like better. Yep. Okay.
One good tip is when you're making your game, don't underestimate how important sound is. Sound is super important. It's like not having visuals.
Playing a game by
Hey.
sound.
Yeah.
Hey, there's a game that is
Let's create the
amazing.
first Braille game or
Yes.
something. No visuals. at all.
Johannes Sebastian Joust.
But it still has visuals. It's still
I think I
real
should
life.
go all the way down.
That's true.
Best graphics ever.
Alright. So if you don't have any sound people on your team, this is like probably the most efficient program to use. The limitation is obviously you have to make 8-bit sound effects, but if you're fine with that, then go for it.
Use anything, just listen.
Audacity. I think everybody knows Audacity already, to be honest. Yeah, so yeah, it's kind of really awesome and free, so everybody knows about it. So I guess I don't really need to go over this that much. No, you talked about it like beforehand anyway.
But what if someone
It's a sound editing package. Move on.
But I mean, you can record your voice, put it in here, and use that to fine tune it into a sound effect that you can put into the game without it sounding really
that's
weird.
how I mainly make my sound because I don't always go for 8-bit sound.
Yeah. So next, Family Tracker. I actually don't know how to use a tracker, so if somebody else knows how to use it, then
What is it?
yeah, sound editing program.
A tracker is where you have a sequencer and you set your tempo, and
Okay.
you can change all your instruments through a synthesizer, and then you basically just put events. So it's
Okay.
like
Is it like a
Nice.
four
Oh,
and
okay.
four, and you just keep going. And you can. There's most trackers have 4 channels. You have 2 pulse channels, a wave channel, and a noise channel.
Okay.
So your noise channel is going to be for anything like hi-hats and drums or anything like that.
Okay.
Your wave channel and pulse channels can both be used for bass, and then your other pulse channels normally used for rhythm.
Okay.
This is how the NES made music and sound effects. Is this kind of
Yeah.
So does this have all the limitations of the NES? Like you can't make anything more fancy than that?
This program, yes.
So
And
you did
there
intentionally.
are other sequencing programs that don't have that limitation, where you can use samples instead of the actual notes, but they work the same way.
Yeah, there are trackers that people make modern day professional music for just to like use on CDs and stuff.
But yeah, one such one would be Acid Express, which is for Windows, and then GarageBand, which is for Mac.
Okay.
And they're essentially the same program.
I think everybody knows GarageBand.
Also, has anyone heard of Analog Box?
Analog Bus?
Yeah,
Never heard of
it's a sound synthesizer.
Is it good?
Yeah, Analog Box. It's
Box.
one word.
The
BOX.
Box. What is? It's 2 word. Nope.
It's one word. Yeah.
If Google didn't suggest it, I'm just like, what is this?
You're lost without
Yeah, I'm lost without Google Auto Complete.
Google autocompletes you.
This looks like it requires some level of expertise.
What is that?
Synthesizer.
It's awesome, whatever it is.
I mean, you probably have to be pretty familiar with properties of sound waves and stuff. too,
Fix
so-
one chart.
Analog house is somewhat like the vintage Sims.
Huh.
Cool. So yeah, be a pro before you use this or learn it. So that I think that's all the sound stuff I have. Maybe. Oh, never mind. Free sound. That's the website where supposedly you go to get royalty-free sound, basically. Yeah, I think.
You have so many tabs open that there's still some lag.
Yeah. I mean, I don't want to have a list somewhere and then like go through each one. It's easier to just have the tabs open. So I think this is like a really big database, and
It's huge, yeah.
yeah.
I used it yesterday. I was looking for like a digital jackhammer sound, and I just searched for electric toothbrush, and there were like 15 results of people
Nice.
who just recorded clicking on their electric toothbrush and letting it run for a while and then turning it off.
That's pretty cool. And they do have a rating system
With
in
professional
place.
microphones. It's just all right, free sound.
Anyone want to look for
Professional
anything
quality.
so I can give a demo?
Cat.
Cat.
How many people record their own cats already?
This one is rated 4 stars.
There's too much pussy. My ears went.
Yeah, I'm with the person.
Wow. This is a 30-second track.
Sounds like those Minecraft.
Gonna pause this one. Did I already do this one? I don't think so.
I am disturbed.
My voicemail. Okay, well there you go. Basically, you can find a lot of sounds on here,
Cool.
and
Sounds great.
199 sounds,
9 fingers.
not 99. Okay. So yeah, use this if all else fails. No, use this just as your beginning point. Probably is better. ModDB. That's also something I'm not very familiar with.
Doesn't
And
look like money.
It's a database.
It's
yeah.
not for GameDev, it's just mods over here.
Okay. Well, I think we're gonna allow people to do mods during the jam if you're interested in doing any mods.
Can you start someone more?
I don't know. Maybe.
No.
What? Whoa, that's really disturbing.
You could be inspired by a mod and make your own game that.
Yeah.
I guess it would make sense if you're starting from a game and modding it. Technically, you should be able to start from a mod as well, as long as you didn't
Yeah.
make it.
As long as it's not just taking the mod and then making it like submitting it as it is, or just make 2 changes to it.
But we would prefer you make your own game, but if you really want to.
Well, what's the point of even being in the game jam if you're just gonna cheat? Free food.
Come for the free food, yeah. Game Maker Studio. So Game Maker is what they use to teach ISTA 251, game development, introduction to game design. This year they used Stencil, but Game Maker is probably one of the faster tools you can use to make a 2D game, and I'm pretty familiar with the tool, so I'm like a little bit biased. But, what should I say? If there's any tool you wanna like learn, like to start learning right now and get it ready before Game Jam, Game Maker is something that I would recommend, especially considering their Game Maker Studio is free with some not extremely important limitations. So you can basically get it, and it used to be that Game Maker Free has a ton of limitations and you can only make very limited games with it. And the company changed their mind, and now you have Game Maker Studio, which is much better for making games, and that's something I recommend trying out. And the other one is Stencil. That's what they use to teach 251 right now. And what is it called? Graphics scripting? Graphical scripting?
Block
It's
code, like
Visual scripting, yeah.
using block code blocks.
Mm-hmm.
I just
And
call them code blocks.
and what's cool about this is you don't need a lot of programming experience. You need some, and it comes with its own physics engine, which is Box2D, and Box2D is really robust and used in quite a bit of 2D commercial games also. So if you're making a game with physics, it's really hard to just like make up physics engine from scratch. So if you do want physics in your game, Stencil is the go-to game engine, I think, to make a game fast. And it's also free unless you want to export it to iOS, right?
Yeah.
I think, yeah.
You pay for the privilege to publish.
Yeah. And they have a really cool interface. It looks better than GameMaker Studio's. GameMaker Studio, let me just show you. Its interface, like, they changed it to try to make it look cool, but I think it still looks,
I think it looks worse.
kind of does. I mean, if they have like this, if they have it so you can like change skins or something, that would
Makes it
be
harder
like
to
much
use,
better,
in my
but
opinion.
The color scheme.
Yeah, because you used
Still
to
waiting
have all
for it
these
to start.
colorful colors, and you could rely on, oh, that's the
Let me turn
blue
this off.
button that I always use. Now they're all green, and you can skim very easily.
it's taking forever to load. Oh, got it.
Maybe you should close this stuff.
No, never.
Push the power button.
Recent file project 1. Oh, I click on something else. Loading, loading, loading. I hope it doesn't crash on me because I
Looks
just
so
got
much
this
more
like
professional
yesterday.
than GameMaker.
Well, at least give GameMaker props for trying to improve their look, because
At least
I mean the
try-
previous look they had has been there for like 5 or 6 years at least, and it did not look like game or whatever.
They wanna look cool.
They wanted black.
Yeah, it just looks really dark, and
It kind of hurts your eyes if you stare at
I
it
think it's
for too
supposed to
long.
like look like hacker culture-ish with
Yeah.
green and
I know
black
some programmers
graphics.
like to have black background and white text because apparently that's easier to read.
Yeah, like a little bit gray to make it less
Yeah, it's
taxing
never
on the eyes.
pure black or pure white.
Yeah, but
if you stare
I
at it too
don't think
long,
this
it
shade
hurts
of
your eyes.
green is what they
So
want
you
to go
switch to the
for.
window,
Exactly.
It just
That's
looks
white.
kind of ugly.
That's
But
white.
it's still a really fast game making tool, and I recommend trying it out if you don't have any experience using one of the fast, rapid game development tools. And then there's Stencil. Do I want to show the interface of Stencil? Maybe later.
Well, your computer crashed. The screen getting yellow.
Yeah.
Oh, that's because I have.
Battery's going down.
That's because I have F Deluxe. Yeah. Can you turn that off? Maybe GameMaker will look better without
What
this.
program is that?
It's so your screen doesn't hurt your eyes. It adjusts to the time of day.
My eyes are
Yeah.
Oh,
powerful. I
interesting.
don't need that.
Yeah.
So does that mean like the sun just set or something? And so it's that?
Probably.
Stop the sun.
But it's probably better if I don't have that turned on if I'm making a game. Just saying.
I've heard of that before, but what's it called?
F.lux. F.lux.
Okay.
I mean, if you wanna like remember, I can send you a reminder. But yeah, going to Game Salad, or no, Construct. Another rapid game development tool. I haven't really used it that much, and by I haven't used it really that much, I mean I downloaded it yesterday, so I can show it today. So basically, I don't really know how exactly this tool works, and it's taking a really long
What's
time.
happening?
It's in another window or something.
No, I think it's just. Whoa, is it?
Yeah.
Is there a?
There's a YouTube video on the front page. Go to the front page of the website.
Oh, okay. We can do that too.
It'll give you the gist of things.
Okay. Hopefully it's not too long.
No, it's not. It's only happening.
I feel like I might have seen that before, and it's like, it looks almost like magic, and it makes me a little bit wary. Is that it? Skeptical, wary, same thing.
It is pretty powerful. The free vision is sort of limited.
It's sort of, sorry?
Limited.
Okay.
You can only have
Well-
50. You can only have 50 blocks of it, which you'll see.
Okay.
They drag on their drag apart assets.
Yeah, I think that's the one I was saying. They have like these blocks outside, and it's like, you drag these blocks onto the game, and it's like magically, they have physics to it, and
Well, no, it's
I assume it's like pre-scripted
Yeah.
blocks. Okay.
it's a lot like Splinter is. It's
Okay.
a bunch of if-then statements.
That's cute. Hmm?
You guys are saying it's cute, and I'm like, it's delicious.
It looks delicious to me.
That's why I asked you for chips.
Well, I'm sorry I'm poor, and I'm really well versed in cocoa technology.
Actually, there are chips in the room.
But I have no
Doesn't
money because I'm a
work.
hobo.
Exactly.
I need to sell some there.
They just have maybe don't use like the platform. You can also do your
Sorry.
So, the platform movement one that they just showed is like a pre-built
Okay.
thing, and you can also make your own from user inputs and
Mhm.
different
So does this one come with a lot of pre-built like functionality?
They don't have a lot right now, but
Okay.
there's a lot on the forums because you can make your own and you can export them and upload them for other people to use.
Okay. Cool.
Use HTML5.
And yeah, it uses HTML5 canvas.
Cool. So that's that, and I think the last one might also be zero. Polycount. I think that's also one you recommended, or
It's a 3D art form. There's a lot of, if you scroll to the top and go to their wiki, there's a lot of useful information, mostly pertaining to 3D.
okay,
So what is Polycount?
It's a
3D
form.
art form.
3D art form.
Oh, cool.
Let's see. Can I click on something right here? Let's see. Let's say texture.
It's okay. Third time's the charm. Next week you'll get it.
Okay.
No, there's another battery in there right now.
That looks pretty
There's one
helpful
like
actually.
Yeah.
Well, it's been putting gaps throughout the whole thing.
I'm gonna bookmark this.
On the recording lines anyway, so.
Cool.
So Dylan's gonna
So
have a
that's
fun
all the
time.
tools I have for
Cool. I did it mistaken.
for Epic Game Development basically.
If you do, I'm gonna quit.
And there's some new people that walked in. Are you guys going to a game jam?
Yeah, but maybe.
What's your
Okay.
name?
Andre.
Andre?
Yeah.
Andre?
Cool. If you haven't RSVP for the game jam and you decide to do it later, you can find the form on our website.
Mhm.
There's a link to the form.
Yeah.
We should send an email. Again.
Again, yeah,
Remind
sure.
Again.
I'm the listener.
You're not a listener?
No.
We can add you.
Yeah.
I'm not.
If anyone have like
I can
no
do it
card
right
right
now.
now.
Sorry.
So yeah. Any questions about the game jam that you might have?
What kind of things do you do like in this club generally?
In this club generally,
Well, we have weekly meetings on Mondays, so like this. Right now we're usually during the meetings we give presentations like this. But they're usually pretty varied in topics and subjects. We also have game nights on Fridays. Not every Friday, but it's like once a month or so. We're thinking of having our next game night the Friday of next week, which we haven't announced yet, but
the Friday of next, even though
Yeah.
that's
I didn't
right
even know that.
before the Appleton.
yeah, but there's no other time otherwise except for after spring break.
That's
yeah,
true.
Exactly.
I'm not sure we do a lot, but we talk a whole bunch. All sorts of cool things.
We record a lot of videos but never upload them.
Charming.
We also have a
Ah,
Facebook
Like this
Click on
one is
something
going
right
up.
This is my masterpiece.
Oh no!
Are you on the mailing list?
Did you talk about
Oh,
Did I talk about, sorry?
Tick source?
Tick source, yeah, I talked about assembly. Yeah, the assembly page looks like one of the best resources we have. But yeah, so that's basically my presentation. And now it's just like answering any questions, even though I asked like a billion times. No?
Oh, I had a question.
Oh.
Like, what's a common game development program that you guys use? Like, do you guys just use Stencil and Game Maker Studio? Because I downloaded them both and I checked them both out, but I was wondering if there's other ones that you guys like personally like to use.
I think Stencil is most used in this club.
I love Stencil.
Mainly because ISTA 251, well, the ISTA department has a game development class, and the ISTA department also uses Stencil for their summer workshop, where they teach kids to make games, and some people in the club have helped out for that, so they're pretty fluent in Stencil. I like using GameMaker just because I had more experience with it, and as I said, because 251 taught GameMaker, some people here are familiar with it too. I know someone here uses XNA also.
In your email.
Is he
Well,
here?
XNA is.
XNA is disbanded.
Well,
Yeah,
they're pretty
it's
much
not
quitting
supported.
out, but there is a good open source one now for that called Mono Game, which is by the same people that do like the Mono open development platform and stuff like that.
Okay.
Oh, was it on the wrong one?
Anything else that I've missed? Something?
Blackout has a game engine.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yes, Blackout has a game engine too.
Blackout?
Blended.
Blended, okay. Yeah, it does, but I heard.
Not very hard to use. At least the way it used to be. I haven't used it.
Yeah, I heard it's not very user friendly either, mainly from him. But
Yeah, probably its biggest problem is it's not very powerful.
Okay.
Like its visual scripting language is very weak.
Okay.
So unless you're
It's
programming
not
in
good for
Python,
the
it's,
approach.
Okay, yeah, that's what I thought too. Yeah, and Livio uses ActionScript 3. That's not a game engine, but it's still really fast for making Flash games. I use a little bit of ActionScript
Flash
3
is
also.
great.
Flash is great.
Anything else?
If you know
Yeah, there's
Python.
Unity. I don't know if.
Unity is very good.
Unity,
Python.
Yeah,
Unity is
you
good if you can figure it
Tyler
out.
uses Unity.
I wouldn't suggest them.
If you know
For
Python,
beginners.
Python is
Yeah.
good for
I
you.
love using Unreal, so
Oh yeah,
Unreal It's
Yeah.
free as well too.
yeah.
They
UDK.
have visual scripting language too.
Yeah, but
Zimming, look up Pygame.
Pygame.
Yeah, it's a pretty good framework for Python.
Well, I never tried using it to make a game, though. Like, well, partly because I don't know Python fluently. I still need to finish that Learn Python the Hard Way thingy. Wow, they have a lot of projects, though.
And it's actually really popular.
Yeah, it's been
Is it?
rising up Python as a game language.
When I first checked on it, it didn't seem to be that popular. But
Yeah, that's all the graphic stuff for you. Interfaces with SDL, so you don't
Okay.
have to.
Just like Flash.
Yeah.
cool.
There's a small, it's not finished yet, so I don't think it should be used, but there's a small 3D engine called Craft Studio that's in the works.
Craft Studio, I think. I remember you mentioning that last time. Multiplayer craft platform. What is that even? No, is that a game or is that an engine?
Well, you can use it to make games.
Okay.
He had a Kickstarter for it that did well,
Okay.
and it's there's the room there that we did, but it's it's touted as a game to make games. But
Okay.
you can make models and sounds and everything collaboratively because you're on the server with everybody else.
That's pretty cool. That looks kind of like the stencil
but that's not actually happening.
Okay.
There's
Mock-up scene.
there's something called MakeHuman. Their website is makehuman.org. It's a 3D modeling tool. Well, it's not really a modeling tool. What it does is it'll randomly generate completely like
Yeah, that's a little bit.
yeah, it'll randomly generate a human model, texture it, rig it, all that good stuff.
Wow.
So
So that's pretty awesome.
Yep, it's open source.
Why are there so many cool
Cool.
open source things?
And
So
this
open
actually
source
has
is where it's at.
built-in support for Blender, and Blender has built-in support for it. So
Nice.
Nice.
Yeah. Hopefully that answered your question. Okay.
So, out of all these things that I probably won't remember for 5 years,
I'll put it on the website at some point.
which one would you recommend most for someone who hasn't developed games before?
All of them.
Stencil.
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 Okay.
Yeah, the rest.
Yeah,
Well,
I would say
I downloaded
I would
both
put
Stencil and
Game
GameMaker, and I tried Stencil first, and I didn't like it as much, and then I did GameMaker, and I liked it a lot better.
That's why I said all,
Yeah,
and
it's
all the
personal.
2D ones,
Yeah.
you can just like spend
Try it out.
like 2 or 3 hours with each of them, and you will know which one is clicking it.
Mhm.
And,
And
by spend 2 or 3 hours, I mean with like a tutorial page open, doing the tutorial.
Doing a crash course.
Yeah.
GameMaker and Construct are both also available through Steam.
GameMaker's been around for a long time, so it has pretty extensive form.
TakeSource has a lot of resources for GameMaker as well.
Okay.
Stencil has a nice community too.
It does, but
I've
it's
been contributing.
a little bit smaller. Well, it's a lot smaller than GameMaker, I would say.
Yeah.
But it's still like, for the basic stuff, they have tutorials for all the basic things you want to do. So, yeah, try both of them. They're very different. Some people like one better than the other, but
There's
both good for beginner.
also the issue of content creation. Like that's sort of like GameMaker, sort of the compositor or stencil or whatever. You take all the assets you've created somewhere else and put them together into the game. But you still need something like Photoshop to make graphics, and then Audacity to make sound. So.
GameMaker and Stencil both have their own pixel art tools in
Oh,
Don't use
They're terrible.
stencils. Do
But
not
they
use
have them.
stencils.
Yeah.
Stencil's one is broken.
Use one of the other pixel art ones that we told you
It's
about.
got one undo.
I think GameMaker might have one undo also. I'm not quite sure, but they're both pretty good.
Once and it won't let you undo
Yeah.
again?
Yeah.
I hate that.
I mean,
That's just a lazy programmer.
I mean, both of them allow you to use external graphics editors. So just link it to like Graphics Scale or something, and you can use a much better image program to edit your images.
You can even configure Stencil to automatically open your preferred image editing.
Yeah, GameMaker can do that too. So, actually, Graphics Scale probably isn't the best in case you want to work with something that's not pixel. So, GIMP or something.
GIMP,
Yeah. GIMP, Photoshop.
Inkscape is for like
You can always download
Okay.
trials. I mean,
That's
you
true.
know.
Yeah. Photoshop free
Yeah,
trial.
free trial.
Free trial
That's what
Photoshop,
Game Jam.
make Game Jam,
Or you could use
uninstall.
GIMP.
But GIMP
is
loads
good for
slow.
students. They have $30.
If you have too many assets, it takes
So does
forever.
Photoshop.
No, it doesn't. It takes
Yeah,
that
the
long.
Adobe
For me,
Creative
for
Suite
me,
per
it
month.
takes a ridiculous amount of time for Photoshop to load.
on mine.
Not on mine. But we have good laptops, so.
Paint.net to GIMP.
What?
That's the cloud service though, right?
GIMP.
And you have to
Yeah.
pay a
Well,
monthly fee.
Paint.net?
Yeah.
Oh, I've heard of it.
$30.
Yeah.
I haven't
so-
used
For
it.
all, it's all
Use
of
it.
their up-to-date
Do you have to do like a year or something, or can you just do it like a month and it'll be good?
I bought it way back in the day and I never upgraded. I'm like, you know what?
I believe
You
you
do
can
it
do
for
it.
me.
You get discounts for doing it for longer.
Okay.
Like discounts per month. But I believe you can do it for just like
I think older versions of Photoshop is also free, like Photoshop CS2. Yeah,
They just released for free.
yeah. So,
Really?
Yeah, they did.
CS2?
Yeah.
Isn't Photoshop really expensive?
Yep.
yes.
Yeah.
I think my mom
Insane.
for Christmas once got me Photoshop Elements because apparently it's like the same
It's
thing but
cheaper.
really
Elements is a lot cheaper.
Yeah.
It's like
It's
a.
It's not as powerful, but
Yeah.
It has some of the elements of Photoshop.
Well, Photoshop Elements is mostly
How much
just
does-
photo editing.
huh,
Yeah.
she
$700.
got it for me. I'm like, great, I'm not gonna use this.
Oh, I'll take
I
it.
used it a couple times. Props, thanks.
Maybe
Still
you'll
pretty
be
pricey,
using
though.
it.
Photoshop
I believe
element.
it's $699.
Yeah, that's what it looks
Just
like.
for just for Photoshop.
Ridiculous.
The Photoshop element is actually pretty much more than adequate for
Most of the
any
people who
for
buy
most of the game
Photoshop
development
will
stuff
price it
that's not in
based
3D.
on
Yeah.
license it for the studio.
So I used Elements for a while because my dad got it too.
Elements is just like really mean to me.
How
and
do you
it
find a
wasn't
free
working
Photoshop
today.
download? Don't go there.
I think it was like 9 or something like that.
9. Wow.
Photoshop Elements 9.
I had 6, but I don't know if there's that different.
Just 7.
But yeah.
When did CS start?
After Elements.
It's like created to.
Yeah, when did they start that? Was it after
After
7?
Photoshop 7.
Yeah, after 7.
Okay.
So PS5 is technically 15. No, not.
No,
Well,
like
yeah,
12. 12? Can you not count?
Yeah.
So yeah,
can't see it.
that's the
They don't have,
presentation.
like,
Have any
all the
questions?
stuff.
Just
Yeah,
shoot me an
so
email or
I
Facebook
put you
message and
You should
6
post
foot
all
I'll
of
get
them.
around to them. Yeah, I'll post. Yeah, I'll post all of these on the club blog as much as I can remember. I think I still have them written down somewhere, so it should be all good.
They should also be in your history.
Cindy,
Yeah, they should.
Yeah.
Also,
Done. That's
yeah,
why I asked
I'm
you
done.
for chips like that.
Cool. Thanks for coming.
I'm sorry.